Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Smart Olawale, and I'll be your moderator. This free webinar is a proud initiative of Nigeria's foremost information and technology company, speaking of Ha-Shem Limited. The last time we did this on the 16th of March, we enjoyed a highly informative talk on the topic secure remote work made easier with Sophos XG Firewall. And our speaker gave us detailed insight into Sophos Connect 2.0. I believe people who were present at the last webinar will agree with me that it was indeed an eye-opener. For people who were not present, you can visit our YouTube page to catch up with the video so you don't miss out. Today, we'll be talking about enhanced web security with Sophos Web Control. The topic is very important and relevant in the world that we are today. In a world where there are a lot of officials who are leading several cyber attacks on innocent web users in a bid to steal their most sensitive information. Did you even know that cybercrime has increased by 600% because of the coronavirus pandemic? Businesses are losing about $75 billion per year. Do you know about ransomware attacks? This year, it is estimated to cost $6 trillion. Thankfully, tools like Sophos Web Control are helping us to mitigate these web attacks. This powerful software makes use of fully transparent proxy of anti-malware and web filtering. It has an enhanced advanced threat protection, and the software has a URL filter database with millions of sites across 92 categories. Today, I have the honor of welcoming our speaker for today. His name is Mr. David Olatoye. He is a network and security engineer here at Ha-Shem Limited, and he is an IC veteran. I really believe we will do a strong justification to the topic that we're going to be discussing today. But before Mr. David takes us on the webinar journey, let me quickly share some housekeeping rules that will help us to maximize this time very well. So firstly, please kindly mute your microphone while this session is ongoing. Please and please. If you have a question while the webinar is still on, please send the question to the chat box. At the end of the section, we'll have the opportunity to ask all of our questions. And thirdly, at the end of the webinar, we will send an evaluation form. Please kindly fill it, as we would like to hear from you so we can improve and get better for you. Lastly, at Ha-Shem, we do a lot of knowledge sharing. So please take advantage of this quality by following us on all social media platforms. I will share the link just before we end this webinar. So without any further ado, Mr. David, I'm handing over to you now, sir.
Thank you, Smart.
You're very welcome, sir.
All right. Can you see my screen, Smart?
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
Smart.
we can see it.
All
yes,
right,
I can
thank you.
see it, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the brief introduction. All right, let's proceed.
Okay.
Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. I hope you will enjoy the session. About a year ago or more, some companies started working remotely while others are planning to join the trend. Those who have joined are facing some challenges like data protection against cybersecurity attacks and searching for the best solution to protect their end user devices' access to the internet. My name is Olatoye David Olubumi, a network and security engineer working at Ha-Shem Limited. I love dealing with security products and I've been doing this for some years. Today, I will be presenting one of the security solutions. Today's webinar is Enhanced Web Security with Sophos Web Control. In today's agenda, we'll be discussing the traditional and modern days of remote working. We will also discuss COVID-19, which brought about this modern way of working remotely and its effects on the economy. I will present you with a product that provides a solution to effective remote working. Before the end of this presentation, I will demo how you can use this solution to control users' web access while working remotely. And hereafter, I will take questions and I'll give you the answer. The display shows the old or traditional way of working. Every member of the organization leave their respective home to resume work at the company premises and perform his or her duties. The head office or branches have devices that control user web access to the internet using the configured web policies, such as Sophos, router, Olatoye, and so on. Here is the current trend of working caused by COVID-19. Many staff from different organizations have been asked to work from home. Remote working can be done from anywhere that is convenient for the staff. Many companies have adopted the new way of working, and it is almost coming to stay for some organizations. At the long run, planning is one of the keys of organization development. COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on the economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought a lot of changes to the workplace and challenge established norms about how employees can deliver on their employment obligations. Some changes have occurred and we expect to remain in place long after the pandemic is over. Some of the main changes in Nigeria are remote working. There has been a shift from the traditional or classic practice of working in the office to remote working. New concerns that employers must deal with include developing mechanisms for tracking employees' performance and identifying new KPIs, providing new forms of employee benefits and allowances, such as electricity and internet data allowance to enable employees work optimally from home, given the poor infrastructure. Considering data protection and data security concerns, and renegotiating the terms of employee contracts. Flex work. Easing of physical lockdown directive from the government have come with conditions which include reduced working hours and restriction on the number of people that can be in the office at the same time. This has led to staff rotation, shift, and flexi work hours. Redundancy. There has been an increase in redundancy and restructuring of the workforce in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. To mitigate this, the Nigerian House of Representatives recently introduced the Emergency Economic Stimulus Bill 2020, which seeks to protect the employment status of Nigerians by providing tax breaks to employers who do not lay off employees during the period. The bill is, however, yet to be passed into the law. The Central Bank of Nigeria has also placed an embargo on termination of employment in the banking sector. Pay and incentive cuts. As a direct consequence of the economic effect on the pandemic on businesses and the ability of employers to maintain compensation at pre-COVID levels, and in some cases, the inability of certain employees to work optimally from home. Issues such as pay cuts, freezing of promotions, and other incentives are hot topics being discussed between employers and employees. Employees' health. More focus is being given to employees. Mental and physiological health. Employers therefore must devise strategies to assist their employees to manage their well-being, to enable them to stay safe and healthy to continue work. Work at home after COVID. Our forecast. Few organizations have the capacity for their staff to work at home during the COVID-19 crisis. This was achieved because planning was done before the federal government of the country announced the lockdown towards the end of March 2020. Some of these companies studied the news around the globe in preparedness for the event. After the pandemic, 50% of both public and private sector are likely to work from home, and this is ongoing right now. This will be achieved when all necessary measures are put in place to avoid repeated loss of services. The global COVID-19 work from home experience, we can estimate that employees save 5 to 15% per year by working at home half the time. Those savings are primarily due to reduced costs for travel, parking, and food. These are the net worth of additional energy costs and home food costs. In terms of time, a half-time telecommuters save the equivalent of 11 workdays per year in the time they would have otherwise spent commuting. Extreme commuters save more than 3 times that. This estimate assumes a 75% reduction in driving on telework days. Here is a graph showing the percentage of people that work from home from different walks of life. Professional, scientific, and technical services have the largest share of 12% for staff that work from home, followed by information having 10%. A few other industries have similar percentage values. Accommodation and food services has the least share of 2%. How can we achieve working from home effectively? The solution we have for you is Sophos Endpoint Protection. It's one of the solutions to secure complaint data for users working from home. Achieve unmatched endpoint threat prevention. Intercept uses deep learning, an advanced form of machine learning, to detect both known and unknown malwares with real-time threat intelligence from Sophos Labs. Make it simple to secure your Windows, Mac, and Linux systems against malware and other endpoint threats. Sophos Endpoint is one of the solutions to secure company data for users working from home. Is the world best endpoint protection security, combining ransomware protection, deep learning, malware detection, exploit prevention, EDR, and more, all in a single solution. Part of this complete control is the web control, a seamless integration within the endpoint agent and the management console. A category-based web filtering enforced on and off of the corporate network. I will be using the web control in my demo. In 2019, Gartner rated the Sophos endpoint protection solution as #1 in terms of protecting end users from visiting sites that were malware infected and potentially unknown to users. Accessing those sites are either blocked or allowed based on the configured web control policies. Once detected a suspicious payload or web content, it blocks access to it. The solution can also be configured to notify the user and admin for investigation when required. These are some features. Let's read what industry says about the solution when they apply it in their environment. In healthcare industry, one of the CIO in the healthcare says this has been a comprehensive product suite and a critical piece of our security posture. Sophos provided trial licensing to allow us to explore the products and ease of use before committing to the full suite. They were also very supportive and easy to negotiate with when working on a 3-year agreement. We use the advanced EDR for endpoints and servers and devices. Another healthcare industry says, we have been extremely happy with Sophos endpoint protection with Incessant X. Up to this point, it is blocked 99% of ransomware, that is, critical dart, Ryuk, and the likes. It has single-handedly saved us from numerous security breaches, and we continue to rely on it as the threat landscape becomes more and more advanced. Another industry, which is retail industry, the IT team lead says, Sophos was decided upon before I joined the information security team. So I was not involved with contract negotiation. However, I have been involved with our recent renewal and found our Sophos representative to be very helpful, supportive towards our organization's current position while enduring the pandemic. Another industry, which is energy, we choose Sophos primarily for the anti-ransomware capability, which is a significant risk still within most organizations. That said, when we further explore the capacity of Sophos, we found a plethora of additional functionality upon which we now rely: data loss prevention, peripheral control, and malware link blocking, to name but a few. In education industry, taking the system management and resource usage from our on-site Sophos server and moving to a cloud-based solution with additional benefits of the Incessant X anti-ransomware solution was a very sensible step. The development from our Sophos on-site solution was pretty simple to all servers and clients. The government industry. Over the last several years, our organization has steadily increased in size and complexity. As a long-time customer of Sophos, they have been able to meet our needs as our environment evolves. Our transition from traditional signature-based software nearly a decade made a significant impact to our security posture. We have series of industries that have used these products. Intercept X and product features. These are the features of these products. Exploit detection and response. Sophos Intercept Advanced with AGL integrates powerful endpoint detection and response with the industry top-rated endpoints protection, both for built IT security operations and threat hunting. Intercept X detects and investigates suspicious activities with artificial intelligence-driven analysis. Unlike other ADR tools, it adds expertise, not end counts, by replicating the skills of hard-to-find analysis. Exploit prevention. Stop the techniques used in fileless, malware-less, and exploit-based attack. While there are millions of pieces of malware in existence and thousands of software vulnerabilities waiting to be exploited, there are only a handful of exploit techniques attackers rely on as part of the attack chain. And by taking away the key tools hackers love to use, Intercept X stops zero-day attacks before they can get started. Active adversary mitigation utilizes a range of techniques, including credential theft prevention, code cave utilization detection, and APC protection that attackers use to gain a presence and remain undetected on victim networks. As attackers have increasingly focused on techniques beyond malware to move around systems and network as a legitimate user, Intercept X detects and prevents this behavior in order to prevent attackers from completing their mission. Anti-ransomware. Today, ransomware attacks often combine multiple advanced techniques with real-time hacking. To minimize your risk of falling with victim, you need advanced protection that monitors and secures the whole attack chain. Sophos Intercept XS gives you advanced protection technologies that disrupt the whole attack chain, including deep learning that predictively prevents attacks, and CryptoGuard, which rolls back the unauthorized encryption of files in seconds. Deep learning technology. By integrating deep learning, an advanced form of machine learning, Intercept X is changing endpoint security from a reactive to a predictive approach to protect against both known and never seen before threats. While many products claim to use machine learning, not all machine learning is critically equal. Deep learning has consistently outperformed other machine learning models for malware detection. Managed threat response. Sophos Managed Threat Response provides 24 hours, 7 days threat hunting, detection and response capacity delivered by an expert teams as a fully managed services. Sophos MTR fuses machine learning technology and expert analysis for improved threat hunting and detection. Deeper investigation of alerts and targeted actions to eliminate threats with speed and precision. Unlike other services, Sophos MTL team goes beyond simplifying notifying you of attacks or suspicious behavior and take targeted actions on your behalf to neutralize even the most sophisticated and complex threats. On the Sophos Central, You can get, or you can also check or get reports for users that violate the endpoint policies. Collate the names and send them to the appropriate department to warn offenders. The image shows logs and reports of sites visited in the last 30 days, while the one below shows the number of block sites accessed from users' PC. I will take you to our demo session now. When you want to access the central, it's a secure platform that uses MFA. Once you sign in your username and password, you will receive an OTP. I have logged into the platform. The solution I have two computers. I have deployed solution. I have two computers with the deployed solution. From the dashboard, we can see the two devices with the last logon username, Godwin and Huda, and the computer name as displayed. Each user belongs to a different department. I will test each computer web access and add a defined policy using web control based on each department requirement. This is one of the user's machine. I want the user wants to access a site. The user can access the site. And we can see that the user can access the site. Now, if you want to create a policy for the user, so all sites accessing by this user now, I want to block all these sites for the users working remotely. I don't want to access all these websites. What I have to do, I come to this place, click add, select the web control, To create a policy, either you create a new policy or you clone the existing policy and adjust your organization requirements, or you select add policy, which is what I have done. Select web control and select user or device of type of policy you want to do. And click continue. You are given a list of users or device based on the selected type as shown. The user on this machine is who? Let's see who the user is. They were working on. Godwin is the user on this machine. So this is Godwin. You click on the arrow to move the user to the assigned policy and set the policy. Enable them down. We have in this policy, this user is accessing news sites which have been allowed. As you can see, the news have been allowed for the user. So what we want to do is to block root. You save. So allow the user machine to receive the updates. You don't need to come to the user machine and trigger the updates. You can do it from the central, but I'm connected to the user machine, so I just want to update the policy. The machine must be connected to the internet. policy is still receiving the updates. The agent is receiving the updates from the central. While we are waiting for the updates to be complete, let me just quickly show you some other things you can also get. Okay. Can get reports of sites that has been blocked, warned. To show you the number of attempts the users visited the site, news, advertisements, the number of times of unique validation on those policy, by now the policy is done, so let's quickly go back to that one so that we complete the task for that. Oh, now I want to check for the Vanguard again. Punch. Block. The punch is not being accessible. While on the web console, we can also check for the block sites. The number of visits for the punch by these users, by Godwin. Give you the breakdown of the attempt for the last 30 days for audits. Can also use the block spots. Let's check earlier on policy validators. You can use it to. You can also export the reports to PDF. For documents, it will display, give you the names of the user so that mail can be sent to them. This will make them to sit right, at least while they are working remotely, you are monitoring what they are accessing on the web. Let's check our policy. Is it be applied to it? Where is it? Do I have a timeout? Which one am I using? Okay, here is it. So if I want a site to be accessible, I can even come to the management from the main dashboard, go to global settings, website management, you type in the sites. If at all you have a group of sites that you don't want, but you want the other one to be accessible, you come here, type in the URL, click save. Let's try to create one so that I can see. Set the category, which is news category. You tag it for identification. Save. And before you save, either you put comment or not. So the category is urgent. So I come back to the other place where I'm creating a policy. If at all I have blocked a list of, I've blocked news generally, but I want some selected news to be allowed. So I come here, I apply it to the department that I want. I have blocked it in this policy, these options that I'm giving here. I have blocked news generally. So, but I want some particular news to be allowed. So I can use this solution to control users' web access. So I want to add that one I just created. The urgent one, which is Punch website that I created now, that I have allowed on the network. So generally news is blocked, but I have allowed one particular news website, which is Punch News. I click save. Perform the policy updates on the machine. As time goes on, you don't need to come regularly to the client machine to update it. Once the machine is connected to the internet, it will receive updates at every set time. So while the update is going on, the other basic advantage of this solution, you can also use it to protect against data loss, which is under the web control. Either you block your data transferring or sharing of data. Either you block it or you allow it, or you want to specify. For download, you can block or allow, so that users, while they are working remotely with a computer or device assigned to them, they cannot download anything to that device. They can't, because you've already set the policy on it that download is not allowed on their devices. Even a web-based email. Then web usage, social media, and productive related category. The list of things you can assign to a machine based on the departments. If the person is in communication, they can only allow entertainment and other things to that person's machine. Just do specify to give you options of what you want to do to that category. For entertainment, the same options you have. And if the person is a game designer, you can only allow the person to be performing games, be developing games products on the computer while working remotely. Or even for your kids at home, you can also use it and just allow kid sites only, so that they cannot visit any other sites. For advertisements, this is additional security. For advertisements, you can also allow, either you allow or you block or warn. Just 3 options that you can do to it. Okay, so let's go back to that machine and see if, oh, good. So we've allowed punch on the machine and block other websites that are pertaining to news. So let me refresh again. So the punch news is going. The punch news that we allowed, that was not going before, we've allowed it. Just particular one to be going on the user machine. So any policy can be applied to it. If you want, whatever you want the user to access on the machine, any website you want the user, whether news, entertainment, games, or productive educative environments, and so on. Or you just want the user to be using it for social media only, no any other thing, so as for them to make use of, or you assign data to users and you don't want them to consume the data within few days, data that they are to use for months, or just want them to use it for few days. You can just assign websites for the user to be using on that machine. At the end, the user will just be using the data for what you have done on the machine, whether to access social media or not. If you don't want it to access any other websites, any category, it will not. The products, you can do a trial version, just sign in to the website, create an account, username and password, and it will open for you. You come to the options, select, and you uncheck this device encryption. While this is checked, and you click download, then it will be installed. You download it and move it to the user's machine and install it. Very easy. You can also contact us to assist you in installing it for users working remotely. If you don't have the time, we are there. We assist you, and we make you understand the reason why this product is more and more reliable, and no much tax is required. Simple deployment. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. David. Thank you so very much. You know, at the beginning of this webinar, I told you this.
Smart, you are breaking.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. So as I was saying, at the beginning of this webinar, I told you this section will be insightful, and I know it will be just right because telecommuting is the trend right now, and as companies are adjusting to it, they should also think about securing their information and data. So Sophos Web Control can help us to do that, and Mr. David has successfully shown us how it works. So right now, this is the time for you to ask questions. This is the time for you to ask Mr. David questions about Sophos Web Control. If you have a question, you can drop it in the chat box or just raise up your hand. I will do all to call you, and then you can ask your question in a minute. Are there questions coming? All right, it seems there is no question. So we want to thank everyone who has taken their time to.
Sorry, a hand is raised below.
Okay, we have a hand here. Yeah, you can talk, Mr. Olufemi.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, what a nice and a wonderful demonstration that we've just watched. It's quite an amazing one. I just want to ask, what's the pricing for the end-to-end security? That's the first security, the protection. What was the package like? Did you get my question?
Yes, definitely. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely, Mr.
so
Laka.
I think
so
it's important to actually to have that information as well.
All right, thank you so much.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
David?
Thank you for the question. The pricing is based on device. Based on devices, the number of devices that you want to apply to.
Okay.
So when you have the number of devices, we give you the price range for
Okay.
each.
Okay. And is it actually a one-off or is renewable?
Hello?
Do you
Hello?
get my question? Do you get my question?
No, I didn't get you. There was a break in transmission there.
Okay, sorry about that. I said, is it one-off or a renewable on yearly basis?
Renewable on yearly basis, sir.
Okay, that's okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Olufemi, for that question. I can see another hand raised. That's Mr. Dedapo. Mr. Dedapo, please, can you unmute your mic and speak?
Thank you very much. I joined the session late, sorry about that, but I would just like to ask two things because this is something that we have concerns on. I wanted to know how Sophos handles DDoS, and is there that's distributed denial of service? Is there a special package to handle this? Similarly, I want to also know how Sophos handles outbound anti-spam, and lastly, IP blacklist. Thank you. Or what features can I enable to avoid these threats? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dapo. Mr. David, did you hear the questions?
Yeah, I had some because there was a break in the initial statement, so I think I can answer a few of what I had right now. But the second one, you can still type in the question so that we can reply all the three questions down. But I will answer some of what I had now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. David. Before you do that, Mr. Dapo, please, can you just please type the questions on the chat box so the little ones we had?
There's a break. There's a break.
Okay, so hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Dapo.
Can I repeat myself, please?
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Okay. I asked the first question I asked is how does Sophos handle DDoS, or what feature can I enable on Sophos to stop these threats on my network? The second question is the outbound anti-spam protection that was available on CyberArk, but I don't know what feature it is on Sophos. And lastly, IP blacklist. We are currently experiencing some form of IP blacklist, which was not caused by my organization, but was caused by the ISP, and they are suffering it now. How can Sophos help avoid these threats? Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dapo.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, the denial of services, Sophos handle that, the IPsec features of it, that is an IPsec, intrusion prevention, handles that, and then the spam, the Sophos also handles that one. And the third question is, Smart, can you remember the third question?
He's asking about the ID blacklist, the blacklist.
Okay, the ID blacklist. Yes, you create a rule on Sophos for
IP blacklist.
Yes, you can also do that on Sophos, creating the list of those IP to blacklist, so that when users accessing those IP, you create a list on the Sophos SG for the firewall and block it under the firewall rule to blacklist those IP. So traffic coming from those IP will be blocked.
No, I understand that. I understand that. What I'm saying now is our own public IP is being blacklisted out there.
Okay. Can anyone
Hello.
hear me?
Hello.
Hello?
Please, Madam Titilope, please hold on.
Yes, we can hear you.
Please hold on, ma.
Okay, so I wanted to assist him there.
Okay. Okay, you can go ahead then.
Okay, so when we talk about IP being blacklisted, since you say it is your own IP, I'm thinking it has to do with your email services, right?
Our email services. This is not caused by us. I explained earlier
Yes,
that
yes.
it was.
Okay, so talking about IP blacklist, things like that will happen mostly. Maybe you are sending mail out and then people are getting your emails because your IP is blacklisted. Is that what you mean? Or you receive, or you seeing traffic from blacklisted IPs? Which way?
So what happened is our IS. Okay, what happened is we observed that we could not browse to a specific website on our network. So this is what happened. We could not browse to a specific website
Okay,
within the
because
net because our IP was blacklisted. Please
okay,
note that our email services is not running on premise. Everything has moved to the cloud.
okay,
So when I did my investigation, I found out that my ISP's block of IP was blacklisted.
okay,
So I think some other customers were carrying out some kind of activities that made them blacklist the entire block of IPs from the ISP. Do you understand now?
okay. Can you still hear me? I don't know. Someone muted me. All right.
Yes,
So
I can.
I get. Okay, so I get the clarification that you just gave. So now when we talk about IP, your own IP being blacklisted, yes, the problem is not from you. The problem has to be with the ISP. For you to be able to resolve that first, because it's a block of IP that is being shared by many customers, the ISP first need to be able to take care of that. However, for you to say, okay, you want to safeguard yourself, maybe your own IP getting blacklisted, you can actually deny certain services from going in from within your network to the internet. That way, any user from your network cannot send anything called spam or any unclaimed traffic in case their computer has been compromised in any way and their computer is being used to send unsolicited traffic from within your network. But because the blacklisting is not being caused by your own IP, so you can actually not do anything when it comes to a block of IP or an IP within the block is causing the entire block to be kind of your ISP have to be the one to take a step from there. But however, you within your own network can actually prevent your user through Sophos from sending out anything spam or unsolicited messages. I don't know if I'm able to clear that for you.
Yes, that's quite clear. But what is the feature through Sophos that will be able to that will enable us stop my users to send unsolicited mails? But yeah, as you said, how can I get that done, please? Or
Okay, so
what?
that okay. When it comes to email, maybe sending or not
Sorry for
totally email. Hello.
cutting you. That's why I requested for the outbound spam anti-spam. That is what I remember on CyberRoam. It was available on CyberRoam. The outbound anti-spam protection.
Yes, it's also available on Sophos.
Okay.
But now because you just said your email service is not within on-prem. So in that case, you will have to subscribe to the corresponding cloud anti-spam solution. If you are on Microsoft already, you have EOP that can help you to achieve that, to prevent users from sending spam email out. However, if that is not now maybe not strong enough, you can also subscribe to Sophos Office 365 or cloud anti-spam solution that can also further do a second layer of filtering for your email. But when it comes to traffic within the network, there are times that even when we don't have email services hosted locally on within our data center where that traffic passes, users' computer could have been compromised and many software could have been installed on their computer that is still sending things like SMTP traffic out. So within your own Sophos device, you have to create firewall rules to deny or allow or permit certain kind of traffic on the network. So I'm saying my users now, none of the users who say they are sending anything called SMTP traffic. No user should send SMTP traffic. It doesn't mean they will not be able to connect to their email from where they are, but it only means they cannot be acted or they cannot act as an SMTP server within your network. So that's a way you can kind of prevent. Also within your firewall, let's say it is not even SMTP traffic, it could be other traffic, maybe HTTP traffic or HTTPS. It's also for you to also block and say, okay, this kind of traffic, or maybe port 443 445 for instance, no form of file transfer can happen from a network, from a user on the network outside into the internet. You can block such ports and just allow only the port that is allowed on the network. Those are things you can do. When it comes to denial of service, on Sophos itself, you have a denial of service setting that you can actually use. So based on those settings that you can put in place, you can actually adjust them and monitor and see how they perform or how they behave. Then you can make adjustment accordingly. So we have from our various customers, we have a few of them where maybe the audit department or the risk department provides such settings for DDS to be configured on the firewall that is being, that is at the edge. So if you have such, they can provide the recommended setting for you, which you will now put on Sophos. But that setting is actually there to help you prevent denial of service from either users from within or users trying to come from outside into your network. So I don't know, am I able to clear something out for you there?
I think you shed a bit of light on it. When we say we should create some firewall rules that will deny SMTP traffic, now I want to ask, what about Outlook app? Won't that be affected?
So your Outlook does not use port 25. Your Outlook connects to wherever the server is using HTTPS protocol. That's on port 443. So you shouldn't be sending anything on port 25. Now, when you send an email from your Outlook, remember it is your Outlook that is connecting to the server. You just carry that traffic from the client and drop it down to the server. It is the server that have the right, wherever it is being posted, to send out traffic on port 443 or 587. Is that? Yes, that's a secure port, I think, 587. Yes, or 456, something like that. Yes. Yes, but because your Outlook is not using anything port 25, is able to connect on its normal port 443 to the server, wherever the server is, and still do its mail.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Titi Lokwe. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Mr. Didapo, I hope that answers quite explain things. Of course, you can always send inquiries to sales@ha-shem.com. I've sent that email to the chat box, and also we're always available for a one-on-one session. But right now, the time is not so much on our side. So we want to thank everyone who has taken their time to join us this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. David, also for this insightful section.